Today, we are again editing photos, but this time I'm editing your photos. Last time I asked you guys to send me a bunch of photos that you want me to edit, and I have selected 4. I've selected 4 photos that I thought were some of the best ones and some of the ones that I just thought were cool in general. They weren't, all of them were, no, not all of the photos you guys sent in were good. I'm not gonna like lie to you. Like, that's obvious that some of you didn't send in great photos. I'm not gonna call you out, but I'm not. Point is, I have selected 4, which we will edit and look at. I don't know if I'm gonna do another one of these because it's such a targeted like audience and like I don't know. Ooh. I will do another editing video, but it's probably not gonna be this style. So for now, I'm gonna show you how I would edit your guys' photos, or these 4 photos, and let's get into it. Yeah! Man, that was really aggressive. I shouldn't do that kind of thing. Like, that probably just weirds everyone out, to be honest. Okay, this photo I thought was dope. This is like right up my alley. Turn that off. This was by, this is by Jack Studios. Okay, this is his Instagram. I'm gonna put the thing right here because I don't know the exact Instagram name because you guys got underscores and hyphens and stuff. Anyways, this is a dope photo. I like the eyeball in the least creepy way possible. It is a little blurry though. I wonder. 1/320th. I don't know. Huh. Okay. First things first. I'm the realist. Drop the weight. Let the whole. Anyways. I would probably, I like the exposure, probably bump it up a little bit, pull in a little bit of contrast, but I want to do most of my contrast with my tone curve. Boom, when we're doing tone curve, we're going to add 3 little dots so that we don't get too far into this. I like where this is going already. This is really, honestly, a cool photo. I like it. Now, you guys know what I'm about to do with these greens, right? They're going to be desaturated, but first we're going to take a look at our HSL sliders, go over our saturation, kind of mess around with these a little bit. Probably bump these slightly. The orange, I want to bump the orange just a little bit. If you can see, like right here, watch what happens. It's messing with her skin tone, so I'm just gonna bump that slightly so that I can keep some color in her skin. The yellows, I don't want to go too much because she looks really sick if I do that, not in general. So we're gonna leave that at like 3. Green, I don't want to totally desaturate it, and actually I don't like the way that orange is looking either. Yeah, that looks good though. That looks good. It's a little darker. So we're going with the aqua. Something's weird going on with her skin. What's this orange? I don't like it. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna actually go ahead and leave it because I know I'm gonna desaturate the whole image later. So actually, I'm gonna desaturate it now so I can see what's going on a little better. Let's go right about there. Man, she looks dead now, man. She looks dead. Now we can bring these up a little bit and maintain some of those skin tones a little better. Now, one thing I do when I'm editing, especially if I'm editing for clients, whenever I finish a whole series of edits, like all their wedding photos, I leave them alone and don't touch them for a day. I have a tendency to over-edit at the beginning because you like get lost in the HSL sliders and stuff. And you can make some bad decisions, so that's potential here, and you might be, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to look at these later and then be like, what the frick was I thinking? Like editing like this. So just warning you guys out there. Now I do want to bring down the highlights just a little bit on her face slightly because I feel like they're almost a little distracting. And then one thing I am noticing that her neck's a different color than her face. That's probably because of the lighting. I doubt this girl has 2 different colored items. Items? Why did I just call them items? Her items are different colored, so I'm actually just going to paint a little more of this or yellow in there, maybe add some, oh, careful, that, drop exposure on it slightly, there we go, that's a little better, probably a little yellow still, that's a little better. Okay, good. Next thing I want to do, I might actually darken this whole image a little bit. Yeah, that brings some, ooh, that's some spice. Okay, good, that's what I wanted. Okay, now what I'm going to do is there's potential with this eyeball. I'm going to mess around with it. There's also, don't be someone that over edits eyes. If you can tell an eyeball is like crazy wild, like super crazy, that's a style, but don't over edit people's eyeballs. I just want to mess with the color right here. So I'm actually going to, this is like a greenish color. I'd kind of like to make it a little darker, so I don't want to drop exposure, maybe highlights and maybe bump exposure a little bit. Pull a little more color in there, and then desaturate it a little bit because I want to do more blue than green because I think that contrasts the green in there already. And then also what I'm going to do is bump clarity on it a little bit, and that way just gives it more definition and makes it a little more like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's a little much on the eyeball, but I like this edit so far. It's just a lot more like moody than it originally was. There's before. Now it has this like highlight across her face. See how everything's evenly exposed? Now there's like a highlight over her face. I would probably actually, it's all a little yellow. I would take this and maybe bump that back. Just, hi Sirius, are you gonna chill or are you gonna be annoying? Okay, good. I would probably, yeah, she is gonna be annoying. What? This is, you're making the video long, okay? Just, yeah, go run away and do cat things. Now I'm all furry. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty good. I would probably, this is pretty close to how I would edit this image. Maybe I would do a little more adjusting on the skin tones. It's a little yellow right now. Not a huge fan of that. Oh, look at hair. Right here. Where'd it go? Boop, boop, boop. Dang, that's a long hair. Look at that. Look, it goes all the way up here. Well, this one's cool. That's probably how I would edit it. So before, after, not a whole lot to deal with. Actually, I might mess with camera calibration really quick. Let's see if, maybe a little bit if I was to desaturate that. A little bit, and then also maybe check out a vignette. Like very subtle. I could go with a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Man, I'm gonna have to, I don't know what these texts are gonna come in, man. I forgot about that. Whatever. Next, we're actually going to look at this image by Tim DeSaint. One ISO 400, 320th of a second. Okay, 50mm prime. Heck yeah, man. I'm surprised that the background isn't more blurry with 50mm at 1.6. But alas, it is not. First things I'm gonna do. I notice it's not straight, so I'm gonna straighten this image. I'm gonna try and be quicker because last time was like freaking long, and so I felt weird about that. It's a little better. Yeah. Yeet. Okay. Let's see. Exposure, probably gonna bump it a little bit, drop my highlights just a little bit. Let's go down to a contrast. Go ahead and adjust that a little bit before I get into the coloring stuff. Yeah. Serious, go do other cat things. Go eat food and drink water or something. Yeah, lick yourself, that's fine too. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do, since I know I'm gonna mess with my colors, I'm gonna desaturate first, so that I can see my colors a little better. I already like that a little desaturated. It was a little aggressive. Okay. Saturation. Pretty sure I just swallowed hair. Reds, bump that a little bit. Oranges, bump that a little bit. Yellows, I'm gonna bump that because I like aquas. Not really doing much. Blues, I'm seeing a little bit of that in the t-shirt. I don't want to mess with that too much. It's gonna look weird. Luminance. Drop my reds a little bit. Oranges, definitely bringing that down. That really brings in some tones instead of like. Look, we're making his jacket look like freaking custard. What even is custard? I have no idea. Lens, remove chromatic aberration. I usually leave the profile corrections off because I kind of like it. It's like a natural vignette. And then, yeah, I don't like that. What I would do is probably just like mess with this walkway a little bit and like give it some direction. One direction, but my clarity. Cat. Pretty close to how I would edit this. Still a little bright on the highlights, so I'm gonna drop those down. But see how this like adding this effect on the road gives it almost a direction for like to bring your eyes toward the dude. Mr. DeSaint, if that is how you say your name. This image right here, this is by Nikki Victoria. I thought this was such a cool image. It gives me these like hardcore vintage vibes, like something out of like Vogue or something. I think it's because it's got this harsh light across her face and body, but it's also not like, but it isn't overexposed. I think I would go with a pretty strong fade on this one just because I like the vintage vibe. I'm gonna leave the highlights up a little bit, probably bring the shadows in, give it some like depth, and then start messing with my tone curve. Bloop, ding, bloop. Okay, highlights. That's a little much on everything actually. Whoa, that's way too much. But so I'm actually gonna take the shadows back down because I want to crush those blacks to give it that fade. So we're gonna go ba-doop-a-doop, tone curve. Ding, 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 ding. That's too much fade. Yeah, now it's like, now it's got a little much. Let's bring those highlights in. Maybe even drop those? No. That's a little much on everything, so I'm gonna be underexposed the whole. I don't like how this is looking. I'm not a fan. What's going on? Okay, reset. That's not, I didn't like that. Let me look a little closer here. Let's bring the whites up. Bring the blacks. No, let's bring the blacks up and then mess with the tone curve right here. See what happens. There, we're getting a fade. There we go. That's a little better. She's still looking like angelic or something. I don't know. I'm kind of struggling with this image actually. Okay, let's move on. We'll come back. Desaturate a little bit. That helps. HSL slider saturation. Bring in the reds. Orange skin tone. I do want to bring this up a little bit, but not like freaking Trump orange. We're going like 14% yellows. Bring that back up just because of her pants. I think that adds like a very specific vibe. Greens, we're going to drop those just a little bit there in the background. Blues, probably. Aquas, blues, you can definitely want to leave the blues. No, let's take those out. Where those blues are showing up is in the shadows. Like if you look around here, you can see it in the shadows. So we're going to take it out a little bit and make sure we can keep that white color. This is such a cool image. I would definitely add a vignette, but something really subtle. I might even crop this in just a little bit because there's a little bit of dead space on that side. Maybe like, oh, this is hard. This is such a cool image. Okay, maybe there. I'm getting a little bit of that like vintagey thing. I still think I need more fade, so I'm gonna curve off these whites or the highlights. See what happens there. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Let's pull those off a little bit, and then we're gonna go to detail. With this image, I think it'd be cool to actually add a little bit of that. Heck yeah, this is really cool. Add a little bit of that grain a little bit right here. We can see a close-up of the grain. So I'm gonna go over to, where am I at? Yeah, detail sharpening. I wanna see it a little closer on the big screen too. That's too much. This is an effect I use a lot, so this is very trial and error for me. Luminance, noise reduction, definitely no. Don't need color reduction either. Lens correction, chromatic aberration. You want to leave that on. That'll just kind of like take care of any like chromatic aberration around the edges there. I think I would leave most of this. Maybe desaturate that a little bit. Yeah. Not that one. No, I definitely want to leave that one alone. Because I want to keep her skin tone intact. It's a little much, maybe plus on those reds. There we go. And then let's take a look at the eyes here. I'm actually going to, let's go a little bit closer. Okay, good. Now they're already a little pixely because we're really tight on this. But let's see what we can do here. I do love to mess with eyes in portraits, but you just have to be really careful not to overdo it. Okay, take that off. Let's bump these a little bit. Let's add a little bit of color. And then when I look at it from here, oh yeah, I like this. This is cool. I like that I can still see into the shadows, but it's not like pitch black, but still dark. Let me see how dark can I do a little bit. No, yeah, it's too much. We're definitely gonna leave that like that. Yeah, this is so freaking cool. I love this image. That I would do just like this. Sweet. Okay, that's image number 3. Number 4 is not what you probably expect I'd pick, but I liked that this whole image had a blue tint to it. I assume the camera was like still adjusting auto white balance or something. 1/500th of a sec, 6.3 millimeter. What? How is that possible? I don't know how that's possible, but this one's shot by Ren Wilkes. ISO 64, that's a really weird ISO to pick. But I guess it's better than... Okay, so I would go with like... Definitely gonna dim this image because this looks moody as frick. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is warm it up just a little bit. No, I'm not. Cancel, delete, all, whatever, however you do that. Contrast, leave it alone. Tone curve. Someone just got home. I'm gonna bring up my highlights, pull down my shadows. Bump this just a little bit. I want to pull up my blacks. Nope. Yeah, I am actually. Whites, let's see what's going on here. I'm going to leave those up a little bit. Shadows, going to take that down. Highlights. This is definitely looking blue now. So let's desaturate this a little bit. Cool, now we're getting more into the grayscale of things. Saturation, blue. Please go away. Blue and aqua. See, we could almost like, you almost make this image a black and white by taking out the blues. So let's do that. Let's take it out a little bit. Add some yellow in there carefully. This one I might even mess around with split toning. Throw some like orange in the highlights. Just very carefully. Let's go like 10%. And then put some extra blue in the shadows. And give it some like depth there. And kind of let those mesh together rather than like right and left. They can be shylights and shadows. Shadows and highlights is what I am meaning to say. Cool, that looks cool. Let's see. Effects, I'm going to pull in a slight vignette here, take a look there, good. And then I'm going to gradient this a little bit. I want to kind of match this line right here that's coming. No. So maybe like right there. Oh my gosh, I cannot do this right now. What the heck? No. I want this one. Okay, good. There we go. Right about there. Grab it, drag it in. And I'm going to actually introduce a little bit more yellow toward the top. If you look over here at the thumbnail, kind of gives you an overall like color value. Holy crap, it's already hugely different. Bring it in a little bit orange, that way there's some like depth there. If you bring it too much, you're just changing the color. So we're just going to give it a light little bit right around this highlight area so it blends really well. And we can even extend that so it blends even better. Good, I like that. I like where that's going already. Yeah. I think with shots like this, you just need to be careful to this sky. That's going to play a big part of it. And actually, I might even drop exposure on this a little bit. No, I think it gives it some dynamics when you like leave it bright. Because if I were to bring it in, first of all, it's not blended. Second of all, I mean, it looks okay, but it's a little bit flat. I think this is an image I don't think is like super amazing on its own, but part of a collage or collection I think would be spice. Okay, yeah, that's about how I would do it. This one's definitely, I love how this came out. This one's definitely right up my alley. Surrounded by seaweed. It does kind of look like seaweed actually. Seaweed! So yeah, there you go. There you have it. There you have the 4 images from you guys. Thank you everyone for sending them in. Thanks for swinging by. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for checking out my channel. How many thanks can I get in one video? I feel like, oh frick, I gotta say something like important at the end. But you guys are gonna leave either way, so it's like, have a good day. Drink good coffee. Get good sleep. Hey, don't work too hard. Don't work too hard, but work hard. You know, find a balance. All right. Bye bye.